Very good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the current affairs classes. I hope you all are doing well. So we are going to start 5th to 6th December news analysis today. We will be covering 5th to 6th December. And at the end, we are going to have the top 5 MCQs as usual in the short series. So stay tuned. First news in the ESI Finance and Business category. The central government and Asian Development Bank, they have signed an agreement which is $50 million loan agreement, right? $50 million loan agreement for climate adaptive water harvesting projects in Meghalaya. So remember, in the state of Meghalaya, for adopting climate resilient water harvesting projects which can help in rainwater harvesting, etc., and can rejuvenate the water reservoirs, for that and for development of such water harvesting projects in the entire state of Meghalaya, remember Meghalaya, this loan agreement has been signed. What is the amount? It is $50 million. All right. Then next we have S&P Global Ratings. So recently we have a lot of growth projections being out by credit rating agencies, by international organizations. You should keep a record of this, right? So S&P Global Ratings has predicted 3% of global economic expansion in 2025. So it is global, it is not India specific. At the global level, it has said that 3% of the economic growth will be there. All right. So S&P Global has predicted 3% of economic growth in 2025. Also, it has said that the growth will be slowing down in major economies like US and China. Right? What is the reason of this easing of economic growth at the global level? So you see, the forecast cites easing inflation, resilient labor market, strong consumer spending as key factors supporting steady growth. So although it is declining, but the steady growth will be there. That means although there is a downfall from the previous levels in major economies like US and China, but easing of inflation, so good consumer spending, because more inflation, it creates pressure on, or it reduces the purchasing power capacity, right? So easing inflation is going to ease out consumer spending as well. Hence the growth will be there. Next we have is Myntra has recently launched M-Now. Okay. So Myntra has launched this M-Now. What is this M-Now? This is new 30-minute delivery feature. So you see all these e-commerce platforms like Swiggy, Bolt recently 10-minute delivery, right? So Myntra 30-minute delivery. 30-minute delivery feature M-Now will be there. So this is delivering the clothes or say fashion items in 30 minutes. That is going to be quite a game changer, right? So this is Myntra's M-Now. Then next what we have is World Bank's International Debt Report. World Bank has released its international debt report, according to which India's total external debt, it has increased. So India's total external debt, whatever owes to Indian government from external sources, or total external debt. This is not only public debt, this is external total debt. So not only the government debt, right? Are you getting my point? External debt has increased, and now if you see the absolute figures, it has reached to $646.79 billion in 2023. Then we have Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Saksharta Abhiyan, okay, PMGDISHA. PMGDISHA has been in news. So it says that it has trained, under this scheme, they have trained 6.39 crore individuals. Now what is this? This is, as the name only suggesting, targeted for Gramin area or the rural area, and it aims to improve the digital literacy, okay, digital awareness. So to empower rural India with the digital literacy is the aim of this scheme, so that digital penetration can be improved and 5G, 6G rollout can be better implemented in future. Okay, it has time still. Then we have states like Bihar, UP, Maharashtra. They have led this row with highest trained candidates. So you need not remember these numbers, how many they have trained. Just remember which states under this PMGDISHA digital training digital literacy initiative. Which states have performed well? So Bihar, UP and Maharashtra. Remember these top 3 names, okay? Bihar, UP and Maharashtra. Bihar, UP and Maharashtra. If you look at the scheme, so it was launched in 2017, right, and implemented by CSC E-Governance Services India Limited. And since it is Gramin, it is only applicable to rural areas. Remember that, with a Gram Panchayat centric approach. So Gram Panchayat, they are selected for the further implementation of this scheme. It includes 20 hours training, which covers a lot of digital devices, internet use in 22 scheduled languages. Remember, this can be an important figure. This training of digital literacy under PMGDISHA is including 22 languages, right? So language is no barrier. Remember the launching year 2017. Next we have is National Small Industries Corporation Limited, NSIC. The National Small Industries Corporation Limited, which is a mini Ratna under the Ministry of MSME. So you know there this classification, mini Ratna, Navratna, Maharatna, right? So mini Ratna, National Small Industries Corporation Limited, it has recently paid certain amount of dividend, which is 37.97 crore to the government of India. You can remember this. Nothing else is relevant here. Then we have Amazon unveiling latest innovation in the generative AI. So Amazon again in the row of latest innovations in generative AI or AI tools has unveiled Amazon Nova. Remember, Amazon Nova, which is a cutting edge model which is representing a leap in AI technology and is going to process diverse inputs like text, images and videos. It can process wide range of inputs including text, videos, images, etc. So Amazon Nova is there. Then you have Morgan Stanley reducing India's GDP growth forecast. Okay, Morgan Stanley has reduced India's GDP growth estimate to 6.3% for this fiscal year from the previous levels. 6.3%, remember. Next we have is Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA, has granted FCRA license to the USIN Foundation. Now what is this license and what does it mean? So this FCRA license has been first of all given to USIN Foundation, okay, which is a think tank. All right. Now this FCRA license is significant. FCRA license basically regulates foreign funding. Are you getting my point? FCRA license regulates foreign funding. Particularly, more specifically, it is to regulate whatever form of foreign funding is coming to the non-profit organizations or non-governmental organizations. Because you know NGOs or non-profit organizations are important nodes, right? This is very obvious to everyone. They are important nodes of round tripping. What is round tripping? In black money, if you read, round tripping is when you make your black money white, right? So this is one of the channels of round tripping. So this is to ensure that money laundering does not happen, round tripping does not happen, hawala transactions do not happen. That's why to regulate foreign funding, FCRA licenses are provided to NGOs, right? And this is provided for 5 years. I hope it is clear. Then we have OECD. OECD has raised India's 24-25 growth forecast. So you can remember this figure. If not the other ones, remember OECD GDP growth forecast for India, IMFs, World Banks, Indian governments, RBIs, Niti Ayogs, all these forecasts are important, right? So OECD has raised India's growth forecast to 6.8. Remember this, 6.8 for financial year 2025. Then moving on to regulatory bodies new segment. So as you know, recently PLFS survey was out, the periodic labor force survey, which we have discussed number of times in the previous CA classes as well. So certain data is again and again in the news. First of all, PLFS survey is conducted by your MOSPI, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, and the survey period is July to June every year. Remember this information. The survey period is July to June every year. Okay, and the data says, according to the report, employment during the last 7 years, including the COVID period, has increased from 46.8% to 58.2%. Employment levels have improved. if you compare it with the pre-pandemic or pandemic levels, also the unemployment rate has fallen down. So unemployment rate on usual status for persons of age 15 years and above has decreased from 6% to 3.2%. Remember these two figures. Employment improved to 58.2% and unemployment rate on the usual status basis. So what is this usual status basis? Usual status, see, this is how you measure for how many days you have been unemployed. So this is activity status. Usual status is when you take 365 days time, right? Last 365 days की activity you take into consideration and then you identify कि in last 365 days, almost 1 year, which economic activity you participated in to assess your employment status. Got this point, right? So this is the thing. And remember why aged 15 and above is mentioned. I'm always telling you the working age population 15 to 59 years of age, right? That's why this is the thing. And the unemployed one is only that person who is a part of labor force. That means you have to be able to work, that is you should be in working age population 15 to 59 years of age, and you should be willing to work. The voluntary unemployment is not a concern for the country, right? If you don't want to work, you don't want to work. That is not something coming from the government. Are you getting my point? So remember these two figures. Unemployment rate has fallen down to 3.2%. The basics of PLFS and important concepts like difference between labor force, workforce, participation ratio, etc. I have already discussed with you in previous classes. So then we have the KLEMS data as well. So the KLEMS is, given by RBI or published by RBI. You should be knowing what is the full form of KLEMS. At least this is very much important. Capital, labor, energy, materials and services, right? Capital, labor, energy, materials and services. KLEMS database. It also shows that employment in the country has increased to 64.33 crore. So you have two databases. According to PLFS, it is 58 point something, but according to KLEMS database of RBI, so this is very important. Remember this figure, okay? According to KLEMS data of RBI, the employment has increased to 64.33 crores. This is in absolute terms, 64.33 crores. Next, you have SEBI has clarified that these specified digital platforms, SDPs, they are not required to register with the market regulator, with the SEBI, right? So SEBI has clarified this. The proposal says, which is a new framework for recognizing specified digital platforms, it has suggested that such specified digital platforms which use artificial intelligence, AI ML tools to identify content or ads related to securities, etc. They are not required to register themselves with the market regulator or with the SEBI. Now, what are these SDPs, specified digital platforms? These SDPs or specified digital platforms are approved by SEBI, right? And they ensure that on these platforms, all these information provided, they are not misleading, plus they are not misguiding, right? So this is the main aim. SDP, as I told you, digital platform, it is kind of a digital platform which is specified by the board. It has a mechanism in place to take preventive as well as curative action to the satisfaction of the board to ensure that such a platform is not indulged in any such activity, that the information provided in this financial market segment is authentic, also not misguiding, also not misleading. All these things are ensured. So such special digital platforms which monitor all these things, they are not required to be registered with the market regulator. This is the new framework. I hope it is clear, everyone. Then next we have SEBI again notifying rules on nomination, allowing nominees to act on behalf of incapacitated investors. This is to say that every participant, okay, every participant in the securities market has to provide beneficial owners with the option to nominate a person to whom their securities will transfer upon their death, right? So this decision has been taken basically to enhance investor convenience or confidence, and also at the same time introducing some uniform standards for nomination facilities across India. Why nomination is important? In case of death of the account holder, the proceeds earned from any, say, investment or returns, they have to be transferred to the nominee, right? So this has to be made more uniform, or this has to be aligned with more uniform kind of standards. That's why this is out. And it says that in case of joint ownership, the owners can collectively nominate. If the account is a joint ownership, the joint owners can collectively nominate a person. So first important thing, they can collectively nominate a person to receive such securities in the event of the death of all the joint beneficial owners. Okay, in the event of death of all the joint beneficial owners, if all such joint beneficial owners they die in that case, then further the depository and participant, they will not be held liable for any action based on the nomination provided by beneficial owner. The depository like the CDSL, NSDL, they will not be held liable for any such action regarding nomination provided by the beneficial owner. So these are important features. And participant itself will not be liable. Okay. Then SEBI has proposed that the funds of such clients who have not done any transaction in the last 30 days, they will be settled by stock brokers on the upcoming settlement dates of the monthly running account cycle, right? So this is basically to eliminate the inactive client and the inactive accounts, right? To clear the inactive accounts and clients and spearhead the process. Also facilitate ease of doing business. So this is the decision. In the last 30 days, if you have not done any transaction, then that would be settled by the stockbroker themselves. Then we have very important news. RBI has recently added 27 tons gold to reserves in October. Now this news I'm telling you is a probable area of question for all the upcoming examination, right? You have to remember these important figures. First thing, according to the, so this is data given by World Gold Council, WGC. According to the World Gold Council, gold buying by central banks all over the world, they have surged to 60 tons in October. If we look at India's, okay, so this is mainly led by RBI. RBI in overall has added how many? 27 tons of gold in to its precious reserves. So India has added 27 tons of gold in October, right? Total gold reserves are 82 tons, but they domestically held, not the outside ones, right? So remember these figures. Total gold reserves are 882 tons. Out of this, the domestically held are 510 tons. Remember this figure. Domestically held are 510 tons. And if you look, so this is important, please remember 500 tons and total one is 82 tons. If you remember the previous pattern, so they can ask you these kind of questions, which are the top gold buyers, right? Top gold buyers for 2024, which country? Turkey stands first. Please remember this figure, this name, if not the figure. Turkey remains the top gold buyer, followed by Poland and then followed by India. Okay, for January to October, this is the data. So they can also ask you the rank. So India is at third, right? Turkey, Poland and India. India has bought 77 tons. Okay. So please remember. These are top gold buyers. You need not rank them specifically. Rank will not be asked. But just remember in top three categories, you have India, Turkey and Poland. And if you see, Net seller of the year, Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is the net seller of the year. So net buyer may you have Turkey, Poland and India. But if you look at the net seller, it would be Kazakhstan. Then you have SEBI has fined Reliance Securities with rupees 9 lakh for failing to comply with the stockbroker regulation. This is not so much important. You can just remember the fact. Then in banking news, we have BharatPe. The fintech BharatPe is announcing a fraud protection plan called Shield. So this is a fraud protection plan announced by BharatPe. What is this Shield? This basically wants to provide coverage against frauds which are digital frauds, including protection against fraudulent UPI transactions. Okay, under this coverage, what will be important features? First, the protection will be provided up to rupees 5,000 for fraudulent digital transactions under this Shield of BharatPe. Okay, then users, they will have to pay rupees 19 per month to avail this protection. So rupees 19 is not so much of a ticket size, right? You get a data add-on for at least 20-30 rupees, I think, right? So rupees 19 per month. Then also users making their first UPI transaction with the fintech, they will receive 30 days of complimentary fraud protection. So this is integration on the UPI platform, right? Risk, if you ask me what are covered, so computer frauds, phishing, which includes sending your misleading emails, etc., right? Phishing attacks, unauthorized transactions, phone loss caused by a phone loss will also be covered. So in case, suppose due to any reason your phone is lost, and due to loss of the phone you witness some unauthorized transactions, that can be provided, that cover is provided by Shield BharatPe. This is very significant step in securing digital the digital transactions arena, also reducing the chances of cyber attacks. 485 crore Indians have lost to frauds on UPI platforms. Okay. Then next we have is RBI. RBI basically has approved Canara Bank's sale of its stake. Which stake? Canara Bank's stake in what? In its mutual fund and insurance arms, which are Canara Robeco Asset Management Company Limited and Canara HSBC Life Insurance Company Limited by 13% and 14.5%. It will be divesting, right? So disinvesting or divesting the shares, selling out the stake in these two arms. The Canara Bank will be selling out these stakes or divesting these stakes. Why? This is basically to align the overall guideline set by RBI, which mandates Canara Bank to have its shareholding in these entities only to 30%, right? So it has been more than 30%. That's why this approval has been there. This much only will be relevant. Right? So you should remember this feature. This can be important. As I told you, this is in line with latest RBI guidelines that the bank should adhere to this. In these entities, in your arms like insurance arm, etc., you cannot have a shareholding of more than 30%. Please remember this feature. Okay. This is a static as well as CA. Please remember 30%. Then moving on to national and state category, the National Mental Health Survey 2, NMHS, has been launched. Okay, at Puducherry. What is this? This is to assess the prevalence of mental health conditions, and it is being done by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, implemented by NIMHANS Bengaluru, and it is one of India's largest mental health surveys, which is going to be conducted across 28 states and 8 union territories, right? So remember, mental health is also important apart from the physical health. Mental health is quite important. So please remember this. Then next we have is 4th Mekong-Ganga Dhamma Yatra has been started in Delhi on 6th December. So on 6th December, the 4th edition, remember, 4th edition of Mekong River is also a species you should be knowing, right? So tell me, across which countries does this Mekong River flows? I'm giving you a hint. You have these countries like Laos, Vietnam, etc., right? Mekong River flows through which countries? And we have this Mekong-Ganga cooperation as well. I will be waiting for the other country's name. Two names I have given you as hint. Now you can identify or recall which all are the other countries where the river flows through. Now Mekong-Ganga Dhamma Yatra has started. What is this Dhamma Yatra? Dhamma, if you see what is Dhamma, this Dhamma. Dhamma is Buddhist philosophy. Particularly the word Dhamma was propounded or popularized by the Ashoka, by the Buddhist one of the greatest Buddhist follower and famous ruler, Ashoka. Okay, so Ashoka gave this idea after the Kalinga war. He was very devastated, and Kalinga war has changed his mindset. After that, he propounded the philosophy of non-violence, right, which is Dhamma. And he also appointed officials to spread this message of non-violence, which were known as Dhamma Mahamattas. Dhamma Mahamattas. These were the officials appointed to spread the message of Dhamma or peace, right? So this has again been there to promote message of Dhamma globally, because you see a lot of global geopolitical tensions are there. To give them, to remind them of global peace, this has been started. What is the theme? Theme is very important. Please remember, theme is from the Mekong River basin to the Great Ganga. From the Mekong River basin to the Great Ganga. And it was organized by Bodhi Gaya Vijayalaya 980 in collaboration between India and Thailand. So this is not only India specific. Remember, it is coming as a collaboration between India and the other country is Thailand, right? Remember. And this 4th Yatra, it commemorates the 97th birth anniversary of King Bhumibol Adulyadej of Thailand and celebrates the vision of the Asian century with Dhamma principles envisioned by Prime Minister in 2015. Asian century with Dhamma principles. This was the vision highlighted by Prime Minister as well in 2015 itself. Then next we have Union Cabinet has approved for establishment of 85 new Kendriya Vidyalayas and 28 new Navodaya Vidyalayas. Okay. So just remember this much, no explanation and further details are required in this news. Only this much is significant. 85 KVs, Kendriya Vidyalayas, central government schools, and the 28 Navodaya Vidyalayas, they have given approval for the establishment of. Then you have Union Education Minister has launched PM e-Vidya DTH 24/7 channel. Okay, number 31. What is this? This is for Indian Sign Languages in New Delhi. Okay, Indian Sign Language, to expand the scope of Indian Sign Language. Key components, if you look at, of PM e-Vidya. So the broader aim would be to promote Indian Sign Language as a language and as a subject itself, right? To promote Indian Sign Language as a language and as a subject itself, and to promote this thing further. Then key components of PM e-Vidya, if you look at Diksha, the digital infrastructure for school education portal, and initially 12 DTH channels were there under this. Then you have them expanded to 200 channels. They will be providing supplementary education in multiple Indian sign or Indian languages for class 1 to 12 across these states. So this is the prime purpose for expanding the scope and learning under Indian Sign Language. Okay, remember this. Then you have Next one, which is 7th edition of Smart India Hackathon. Smart India Hackathon. It is going to begin, or it has begun on 11th December 2024 across 51 centers in the 51 centers nationwide, and it was inaugurated by Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. What is the aim of this initiative? If you see, this provides students with a platform to solve some of the pressing problems faced by them during their daily lives, including like culture of product innovation, problem solving mindset, etc. Right? So across the sectors like healthcare, supply chain, logistics, smart technologies, heritage and culture, sustainability, education, skill development, etc. Smart India Hackathon, as the name only is suggesting, this is to build capacity in innovation and technology, problem solving of the contemporary issues. So this is 7th edition, remember this. Okay. And next one we have is Union Minister of Consumer Affairs has recently launched Anna Chakra and Scan Portal. So remember these two things, Anna Chakra and Scan Portal. What are these? Anna Chakra is the PDS supply chain, the public distribution system. You all know about the PDS, under which the fair price shops or the ration shops have been established to distribute these ration at the subsidized rate, right? So PDS optimization tool it is, right, being coordinated by Department of Food Public Distribution, and it has been developed in collaboration, remember, with World Food Program and Foundation for Innovation and Technology Transfer and IIT Delhi, right? So these have collaborated for the establishment of this Anna Chakra, which is going to make PDS system, the delivery of these ration via PDS system, more effective, efficient and transparent. Clear? The next is a Scan Portal. What is a Scan Portal? Scan ka full form also remember. Scan stands for Subsidy Claim Application for NFSA. SCAN stands for Subsidy Claim Application for NFSA. NFSA is National Food Security Act, right? Which ensures that the people below poverty line should also get nutritional food. So National Food Security Act. Now this portal is basically a step to modernize again the PDS system and the subsidy claim mechanism under the PDS system. So these two, they want to ensure that PDS remains effective and it serves the purpose of eliminating hunger, also ensuring food security. Remember one thing also, under the National Food Security Act, if you look at the definition, food security is not only providing sufficient quantity of food, food security also includes the qualitative aspect of it, that is providing nutritional food. Okay. Then next is, Cabinet has approved Rithala Kundli corridor of the Delhi Metro 4 project. Okay. Then the Parliament recently has passed Bharatiya Vayuyan Vidhayak 2024. Bharatiya. So recently you see we have a lot of bills being passed. I have also discussed with you the banking rules amendment bill which was passed by Lok Sabha. So remember all these things. Bharatiya Vayuyan Vidhayak 2024. And they, via this bill, they basically want to replace the 90-year-old Aircraft Act to make aviation sector more lucrative, more easy to enter for a business or a firm, right, or an industry. So this basically seeks to remove the redundancies of the erstwhile Aircraft Act 1934 and wants to amend this further. And this Aircraft Act 1934 has been, remember, amended so far 21 times. Key features, if we see, bill will retain the provisions from the Aircraft Act 1934 which established the DGCA. So DGCA will be there, Directorate General of Civil Aviation, right? DGCA will be there, regulating and monitoring the civil aviation. Then DGCA ke alawa you will have Bureau of Civil Aviation Security intact. Then the AAIB, Aircraft Accidents Investigation Bureau, will also be there. But so this is what remains intact from the previous act. The bill basically moves the responsibility for managing radio telephone operator restrictor certifications from Department of Telecom to DGCA. This is important. Please remember this. Okay. The change, responsibility of operating or managing the radio telephone operator restricted certification have been shifted now. It has been shifted now. Shifted from earlier Department of Telecom, now it will be with DGCA, right? It will be with DGCA. Then the bill also empowers DGCA to regulate the manufacture, the repair and the maintenance of aircrafts, also the designs and locations where they are being carried or they are being designed. So DGCA has been empowered, right? It has been provided with a lot of powers to make civil aviation accident free, also easy to monitor and making administration quite uniform, right? All these are the broad purposes. Bill also allows the central government to appoint an arbitrator, which will be resolving the compensation disputes regarding land acquisition near airports. What happens is, if you want to grow your aviation sector, you need to develop airport infrastructure, right? And airport infrastructure requires a lot of land, for which lot of land clearances are there. Sometimes you provide compensation to the people who are residing there to relocate from that place. So claims and compensation claims arising from such cases, for that central government can appoint an arbitrator. That arbitrator will be dealing with this. So I have discussed the key important features in detail. I hope you will remember. Moving on to the state news. State news mein you have MHA approving release of 944.8 crore to Tamil Nadu in the state disaster response fund. This is basically to support the state government in dealing with the loss, with the people affected by Cyclone Fengal. Then next you have is ICAR. ICAR has approved establishment of 2 All India Coordinated Research Project Centers on cotton in Telangana. So please remember these 2 centers, they can be important. This is going to enhance India's capacity in terms of cotton production, also placing it in the global value chain as a leader. So ICAR has approved this establishment of 2 centers on cotton in Telangana. Where are these? First is at Warangal and the other one is at Adilabad, right? So Warangal is a center in Telangana and Adilabad will be a sub-center. Then remember, Hotel Amiltas, located in Pachmadi, MP, has now become the first in the state, will be completely run by women. So this can be important. You see, Gandhinagar station in Rajasthan, Jaipur, has achieved this thing. The entire staff being female, right? So in the hotel series, if you try to remember this fact, it can be important. The Amaltas chain of hotels, so Hotel Amaltas in Pachmadi will be the first in the state, remember, not in the country, to be completely run by women. Then you have Union Health Ministry will be launching a 100-day campaign in Haryana to address the challenges of tuberculosis, TB, and raise awareness. Then you have Assam Chief Minister imposing a complete ban on the serving and consumption of beef in hotels, restaurants and public places. Then international news mein we have very important fact. India will be chairing the 68th session of Commission on Narcotic Drugs. So you have 2 probable questions here. First, which country will be chairing? India will be chairing. Second, which edition will it be? 68th edition, remember. 68th edition. India is a chair. So any such information where India is presiding, India is leading, India is chairing, right? India is hosting particular game or important conference. All these facts are important. Clear? So India will be chairing the 68th session of Commission on Narcotic Drugs. This basically, Commission on Narcotic Drugs is what? It is a principal decision-making body of the UN on drug-related matters. And this is the first time that India has been named to chair this important UN body. So I'm again telling you, please write this down separately somewhere. India will be chairing this Commission on Narcotic Drugs, which is a UN body for decisions relating narcotics, etc. This is 68th session and India is the chair. Write this information separately. You can have this question in any of the upcoming examination. That's why the commission ka headquarter also becomes very important fact. So it is headquartered at Vienna in Austria. Okay, remember, not Australia, it is Austria, the European country. Vienna, Austria. So please remember this. Then you have International Advisory Body for Submarine Cable Resilience. It was launched to address the growing challenge and ensure continued resilience of this critical infrastructure, right? So, International Advisory Body has been formed to strengthen submarine telecom cables. Now, submarine telecom cables strengthening is very important to provide a boost to security of navies across the world. This has been there, not so much important, but at least you can remember this. Then Bangladesh has begun the process of erasing the image of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Okay. Her father, an iconic figure behind the founding of the country, from its currency notes. And according to the central bank, banknotes of Taka 20, 100, 500,000 are being printed on instructions of the interim government in Bangladesh. So remember this. Then MOUs in mergers में we have government of Puducherry signing an MOU with Karma Yogi Bharat. Karma Yogi initiative, you all know, is capacity building and enhancement initiative for the bureaucrats of the country. So government of Puducherry has signed this to train the employees. And remember, Puducherry has become 14th state or UT to join this Karma Yogi initiative, 14th, remember. Then you have another MOU which is of 5 years between MEA, Ministry of External Affairs, and the Department of Post. For what? For accessibility of passport services through post office passport seva kendras. That passport services can be availed through the post office's passport seva kendra. For this 5-year MOU has been signed between Ministry of External Affairs and Department of Post. Remember. Then you have National Minorities Development and Finance Corporation and the Dalit Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry have signed MOU to promote basically entrepreneurship and startup culture among these marginalized communities, okay, and to mainstream them with the overall development. Then you have Google and Andhra Pradesh government have signed MOU for adoption of AI. Then Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers, GRSE. Then Central Public, which is a CPSE, you know, it has assigned a contract for construction and delivery of the second ship from the series of 4 additional 7,500 DWT multi-purpose vessels in Hamburg, Germany. So the GRSE, which is a Central Public Sector Enterprise, will be constructing these in the series, okay. Just remember this, where? Germany. Nothing more is important here. Then in science tech, we have ISRO has successfully launched the Proba 3 spacecraft. Proba 3 spacecraft. If you remember the previous CA classes, I have taken this question as well. Proba 3. So this is not of India, right? But ISRO has launched this. It belongs to the European Space Agency. Proba 3 spacecraft into the elliptical orbit. What was the launch vehicle? Launch vehicle was PSLV C-59, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle C-59. Generally, the difference between PSLV and GSLV is PSLV, they carry the polar orbit satellites, right, which can be placed in polar orbits. So if you look at the diagram, these are the polar orbits, okay, across the North Pole and South Pole. But if you look at the GSLV, geosynchronous satellites, they place them in these kind of orbits, the equatorial orbit or geosynchronous orbit or geostationary orbit. The PSLV satellites launched are generally remote sensing kind of satellites. Communication satellites are placed much higher and generally launched by GSLV satellites. And remember, Proba is a mission, a demonstration kind of mission of the European Space Agency. And this is designed to study the outer layer of the Sun's atmosphere, okay. Remember this, Proba. Then you have the third Copernicus Sentinel-1 satellite satellite launched aboard a Vega C rocket from Europe's spacecraft in French Guiana. So this is also in news. This will be producing high resolution images which will be helping in monitoring Earth's atmosphere. So this is again important, remember. Then next in the defense series, we have Indian Navy will be commissioning its newest multi-role stealth guided missile, which is INS missile frigate, INS Tushil, at the Kaliningrad, Russia. Okay, and the date is 9 December. Chief guest will be Defense Minister. About this INS Tushil, Tushil basically means protector shield. Okay, protector shield. This is going to be stealth guided missile frigate. Stealth guided means it will be able to demonstrate its stealth capacity. What is the stealth capacity? You will be able to say you will be able to protect yourself or cover yourself from the enemy's radar. This is the stealth capacity, right? Tushil means protector shield, and its motto is Nirbhay, Abhedya and Balshil. Remember the motto: fearless, indomitable and resolute. And this is upgraded version of the Kriwak 3 class frigate under project 113.5.6. Okay, you need not remember this thing in detail, just remember INS Tushil to be commissioned at Russia. Then next is Stockholm International. According to the latest data released by Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, the combined revenue from sales of arms and military services of the three Indian companies has increased to $6.7 billion in 2023. What are these three companies of which the arms and military sales revenue has increased? So these three are, remember, HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, then Bharat Electronics Limited, BAIL, and the Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited, MDL. So please remember these three names: the HAL, the BEL and the MDL. And please remember their headquarters and ranks as well. So in this, HAL has been ranked at 43, headquartered in Bengaluru. Bharat Electronics Limited, 67 rank, again headquartered in Bengaluru. And Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited, 94th rank, headquartered at Mumbai. Then you have Defense PSU, the Garden Reach Shipbuilders has formally handed over the Jaldoot Unmanned Surface Vessel, Jaldoot USV, to Defense Research and Development Organization. Okay, this will help in survey and communication mission. Okay, it will help in navigation and survey purposes of the naval armed forces, right, or the navy. So this is going to aid Jaldoot Unmanned Surface Vessel. Remember, developed by the GRSE, handed over to DRDO, will be helping in surveying and navigation projects of navy. Then Adani Defense and Aerospace has delivered second Drishti 10 Starliner surveillance drone to the Indian Navy and is going to boost India's maritime forces capacities to monitor shipping lines and mitigate piracy risk. It is going to help in mitigating piracy risk basically. Moving on to other indices and rankings, we have a report by TAM Media Research, which is a joint venture between so Dhoni basically is leading scorer in brand world. This is the thing. Okay, according to the report by TAM Media Research, Dhoni has surpassed even Bollywood icon Amitabh Bachchan with 42 brands. Okay, so Dhoni is the leading scorer in brand world. Remember, MS Dhoni is the leading one in brands. You can remember the ranks. They are not important, the ranks. You can just go through them. Remembering their ranks is not important. You can just remember the name. Then reports we have India Cyber Threat Report. So this can be important. There's a report titled India Cyber Threat Report 2025, which highlights the important areas, most vulnerable areas to cyber threat and cyber attacks, and most vulnerable states. It states, so this data has been first of all provided by Data Security Council of India in collaboration with Secret. Then which are the states, most vulnerable states to cyber threats? Telangana, Tamil Nadu and Delhi. Remember, please remember these three names. Telangana, Tamil Nadu and Delhi are most prone. Then if you look at these sectors, which sectors have been most vulnerable and are most vulnerable to cyber attacks? The BFSI sector, which is banking, financial services and insurance sector, right? BFSI sector, healthcare and hospitality. These sectors are most targeted. Remember this. Then moving to awards. So India has been honored with the International Social Security Association Good Practice Award for Asia and Pacific 2024. This award has been provided to India, which is quite a matter of honor for the social security authorities for India at the Regional Social Security Forum in Riyadh. Okay. Now, next we have is the Solar Energy Corporation of India under Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has bagged third PSU Transformation Award. PSU, so SECI, remember, Solar Energy Corporation of India has received this third PSU Transformation Award under Innovative Product Development category for firm and dispatchable RE supply to discoms and demand following basis, for basically trying to innovate with sustainable solutions of dispatching supply or providing supply to these discoms, etc., right? Innovative power supply models, developing their innovative power supply models. SECI has introduced this innovative power supply model of firm and dispatchable RE. So for this, it has been provided this award. Then you have Indian writer Amitav Ghosh has been honored with the Erasmus Prize for imagining the unthinkable. Okay, imagining the unthinkable. This award was launched in 1958. It is awarded annually to any person or institution who has made some exceptional contribution to humanities or social sciences or arts in Europe and beyond, right? In Europe and beyond. So Amitav Ghosh has received this. Then festivals may we have second edition of Krishnaveni Sangeet Niranjanam, a grand celebration of Carnatic music, okay, classical Carnatic music, traditional crafts, etc. It was inaugurated in Vijayawada. Remember where it has been inaugurated? It has been inaugurated in Vijayawada. Sports में you see Indian hockey team has won the 5th Men's Junior Asia Cup 2024. 5th Men's Junior Asia Cup 2024, defeating Pakistan, and the match was held at Muscat in Oman. Talking about appointments, important conferences and committees, we have Gautam Hari Singhania officially appointed as Executive Chairman of Raymond Lifestyle. Then Eurogrip Tires has appointed legend cricketer Mahendra Singh Dhoni as their brand ambassador. So this is important. Then global footwear brand, the Hush Puppies, they have retailed, they have appointed Veer Das as brand ambassador. Okay, Veer Das as the brand ambassador. And then conferences में we have External Affairs Minister going to participate in 22nd edition of Doha Forum at Doha in Qatar. What will be the theme for 2024? The innovation imperative. He'll travel to Bahrain, where he will be co-chairing the 4th India-Bahrain High Joint Commission as well. And this meeting ki theme is Middle East Leadership in Shaping Regional Prosperity and Security. So remember that the External Affairs Minister has recently participated in what? In your 22nd edition of Doha Forum and the 4th India Bahrain Commission. Joint Commission. Obituaries mein we have senior BJP leader and former cabinet minister in Maharashtra, Madhukar, has passed away in Nashik at the age of 84. He has served as MLA for the Akole Assembly constituency. Then you have one of the Australia's most celebrated captains has passed away, the Neil Fraser. Apart from these things, we have important days. World Soil Day. Remember, World Soil Day observed annually on 5th December to raise the awareness regarding health of soils, because if you have healthy soils, then you are only going to have healthy production or agricultural production and enough production of agricultural produce, right? And the theme is for this year, caring for soils, measure, monitor and manage, triple M. Measure, monitor and manage. Please remember this. Then we have International Volunteer Day 2024. The theme was diverse volunteers, stronger communities. Okay. And then All India Civil Defense and Home Guards Day, 6 December, it is observed for honoring the commitment and contribution of home guards and civil defense organizations. 6th December, remember that. That was it for 5th to 6th December news analysis. We have discussed all these news in much depth. Now it's time for the top 5 series. Top 5 questions from the discussion, the short series. I will be expecting answers from all of you. First question. As per the latest PLFS data, unemployment rate on usual status basis for persons above age 15 years has reduced from previous 6% to how much percent? Tell me. It has reduced to from 6% according to PLFS. From 6% it has reduced to anyone? Tell me. From 6% it has been reduced to, remember, 3.2%. Okay. It has been reduced to 3.2%. So C will be the right option. 3.2%. Then next question. According to the World Gold Council, gold buying by central banks has increased, okay, mainly led by RBI. So how many tons of the gold are domestically held by RBI? This is not the overall, this is the domestically held only. Tell me, this data is very significant. How many tons of gold are domestically held as per this latest data given out by World Gold Council? Anyone? The correct option would be domestically held gold is 510 tons. Okay, 510 tons. A will be the right option. Then next, what is the theme of 4th Mekong-Ganga Dhamma Yatra, which has recently started in Delhi to promote the idea of peace and non-violence at the global level? What is this theme of 4th Mekong-Ganga Dhamma Yatra? Tell me, what is the theme? The correct option would be option E, from the Mekong River Basin to the Great Ganga. This is the theme, okay? From Mekong River Basin to Great Ganga is the theme of 4th Mekong Ganga Dhamma Yatra. India has been chosen to chair which edition or which session of the Commission on Narcotic Drugs? Which session on the Commission of Narcotic Drugs will be chaired by India? Tell me. So India, remember, will be chairing the 68th session. Please remember, India will be chairing 68th session of this Commission on Narcotic Drugs. And where is this headquartered? It is headquartered in Vienna, right? Next, according to the report titled Indian Cyber Threat 2025, which of the following sectors is most vulnerable or targeted by the cyber criminals? Which of the following sectors is the most vulnerable sector or most targeted sector by the cyber criminals? Anyone? BFSI sector, healthcare, education, defense, or none of the above? The correct option would be BFSI, the banking, financial services and insurance sector. Very good. A is the right option. And if you look at these states, Telangana, Tamil Nadu and Delhi, state and UTs की category में most prone will be Telangana, Tamil Nadu and Delhi. Remember, right? So these were certain very important questions, and please remember the gold reserve data. You have a probable question from that, right? The total was, I think, 82. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the domestically held was 510. So please remember these figures. And that was it for today's short series and news analysis. I hope it was useful for you. We'll meet in the next session with the next set of news and questions. Till then, have a great day. Thank you so much.